Hello, everybody. So, welcome to first day of anatomy and physiology class. It's going to say human anatomy on your schedule, but I'm going to be teaching the physiology portion of it too. So, a few things about the class. So here's the class code right here. And if you don't have an Edmodo account, you're going to need to sign up for one, and then you put in this class code when it asks for it. So first thing is, do not start with the top post. Always pay attention to the date. So this is the top post right here, but you'll notice that the date is March 3rd, and you'll notice that it's also not due until March 3rd. So the best way to find assignments is on the right-hand side, and I'm going to have to change it to today's date. And this will be different for anyone who's taking the class at a different time. It'll be a different date. But you go to the right-hand side, and it is going to say what is due on that date. So you click on that assignment, and you click the title of that assignment again. So that is going to take you to the post. On this post, it has directions for what to do. So basically, you're doing this portion too, and we'll get to the PowerPoint in a little bit. And you're also going to be reading the text and answering the questions in the attached document. So don't do questions that are at the bottom of the reading. Do the questions that are in this attached document. There are about 10 of them. So let's get started on the Intro to Anatomy and Physiology. So, okay, sorry, this thing gets stuck sometimes. So, the study of body structures is going to be called anatomy. The study of those functions, the functions of those structures, is called physiology. So the structure is anatomy, the function is physiology. All right? So you can remember that function and physiology start with the same sound. Not the same letter, but the same sound. So the organization of the human body is a hierarchy of increasing size and complexity. So you start at the smallest, simplest level, and you move to the largest, most complex level. So we start with atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. When you combine atoms, you make molecules. When you combine molecules, you get cells. When you combine cells, you get tissues. When you combine tissues, you get organs. When you combine organs, you get organ systems. When you combine organ systems working together, you get an organism or a living thing. And we'll actually get into all of these starting with cells. So cells are the basic units of structure and function in the body. So in all living things, this is the smallest unit of life that is able to carry out all the functions of life. All right. So all living things are made of cells, and cells are the smallest unit of life that can carry out all the functions of life. Okay, there are different types of cells that each have different functions. So we have blood cells, skin cells, bone cells, muscle cells, epithelial cells, which is basically a skin cell, and then neurons, which carry the messages throughout the body. All right, when we combine a bunch of cells together, we get what is called a tissue. All right, so tissue is going to be a group of connected cells that have a similar function. So we have 4 basic types of tissues in the human body. We have connective tissue. This is what connects things. We have epithelial tissue. This is the lining of things. We have muscle tissue, which is, well, obvious. It makes things move. And then we have nervous tissue that sends messages throughout the body. Organs and organ systems. So when we get 2 or more types of tissues working together, doing the same job, we get organs. So organs, a few examples: heart, brain, lungs, skin is your largest organ, kidneys, stuff like that. And then when we get a bunch of organs working together, we get an organ system. So they show all the organ systems here, down here. So for example, we have the cardiovascular system, or actually let's go to the digestive system, because this one has a lot of organs working together. So the digestive system, you have the stomach, the liver, gallbladder, intestines, and those all work together to digest your food. All right. Let's go to the PowerPoint. So slides 1 to 5 on the PowerPoint. So let me just go back a couple of steps here. It should be at the very top. So this one's always going to be at the top because I pinned it to the top. Okay, come on here. Okay, so I'll try to skip over some of the things we already went over, like anatomy and physiology. Okay, so the anatomical position is going to be if you're standing straight with palms facing forward. Anything that is anterior means at the front. Posterior means the back. You can see post, which means after. So that's how you can remember that it's the back. Medial, near the midline of the body. And the midline of the body is actually, if you were to draw an imaginary line down the center of your body, that's what the midline is. And that'll be in the example for the drawing that you're going to make. Anything that's lateral is away from the midline or to the side. Anything that is superior is upper. Anything that is inferior is lower. Okay, and then this is slide 5. So these are the planes of the body. So planes are things that divide the body into sides or portions. So the sagittal plane is going to divide the body or organ into a right and left side. The mid-sagittal or median plane divides the body or organ into equal parts. So how these are different is the sagittal plane can be drawn anywhere on the body or anywhere on an organ as long as it's dividing it into a right and left side. The mid-sagittal, it divides it into equal parts. So parasagittal, similar to the sagittal, it divides the body or an organ into unequal parts. Frontal or coronal divides it into an anterior and posterior position. So a front and a back. So it's kind of like you're drawing a plane through the side of the body. And it has a front a front and a back portion. All right. Transverse divides it into superior and inferior positions, so upper and lower. And then oblique is going to be one that passes through the body or organ at an angle, kind of like the abdominal muscles that are called obliques. They go at an angle. All right, so hopefully that all makes sense. Make sure you get done with all the assignments and turn them in to me.